outsiders just aren't like really playing. So I think it's good to get rid of it. Because like, yeah, that dazzle's really not working. Well, I mean, it did work one game, but this didn't even work the second.
Yeah, the second it didn't look as flashy.
I blame the course for that game.
Okay. That's pretty fair. Usually he blames supports.
I wonder if
Character
that pick,
development.
So I was wondering, like, you're talking about the hero that could lane with Marcy. Necro is still in the game. Alk is in the pool.
Yep.
But they picked the Snapfire, which, you know, this won't be a mid snap this game. And the snap did rotate from mid really early and kill the Necro, who was free farming, which is a big reason why BetBoom like stopped Outsider from snowballing that game. So I bet they're thinking right now is like, do we want to pick Necro into snap again? Because it is a problem. Like the snap ult does so much damage to a hero like Necro, who just has to tank it all. Honestly, not much you can do about it. They got the puck snap combo. It's a classic. But what will they pick with Marcy against Alk? The obvious pick is Necrophos, but it's not particularly a great Necro game, just like we saw in the last game.
To be
Will
fair,
they do it?
I feel like they killed him that one time in the lane, but then the second time that Snap rotated top, they actually didn't kill the Necro. Like, paired with Dazzle, it was a lot of healing, and he just survived. And then, when they were playing aggressive in BetBoom's jungle, they tried to go on them with, like, the Blink Enigma, the stun on Necro, the Snapfire. Oh, he also lived through that. So...
But they're hesitating on picking it here.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's better options, but it wasn't, like, absolutely devastating. I think the worst problem was just the fact that they didn't have a playmaker due to it. Like, if they have Jug right now and Necro, like, it just, to me, it seems like they have the same issues they had last game. At least this time they have Tiny and Marcy who can get blinks and be the initiators and, like, so on. But they're, yeah. If this is a mid-Tiny, a lot's going to rely on GPK to just, like, go ham and make plays.
It probably is. Well, I was going to say, there's better options than Necro. I couldn't find it. Like, I don't know what the better option was. But they're very hesitant on picking a Necro as well. They're just, like, a little uncomfortable to, like, play this Necro again into this combo, clearly. But they decided to do it anyway. I couldn't think of anything better either. But Juggernaut, Healing Ward is great this game, and so is Spin. You know, you're playing versus Puck. Snap uses the ulti. You just press Q. You're immune to everything. Can't get ganked, and the Omni Slash is the counter to the Alchemist later on in the game, in theory.
In theory.
In theory. You just have to get farmed on Juggernaut, and sometimes Alchemist is way more farmed than you.
Just get items, Megalo.
BetBoom, run the AA back.
Please don't.
Surely
Just do it. Run it
Surely
back.
you're more likely to run the clock
Run it
than
back.
the AA. Surely not.
You know, oh god. Maybe not into Tiny, actually. I was just thinking how cool of a Skyroth game it would be. Like, give you something that actually kills the Jug. You get the silence and then all the follow-up from BetBoom. But I mean, they have silence and Puck. They just don't have, like, the lockdown right now to kind of secure a kill on Jug, maybe, before the silence runs out. But maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, they could do it. Especially when they get Blink on Alk. If they start... Okay.
Should have said it.
No, that's fine. I didn't say it.
You were going to call Slardar versus Jug?
I was going to talk about it, and then I was like, I still hate Slaughter, so I hope they don't play it.
Alright, well, now you get to do two. Why you thought they could have picked it, but also why you don't want them to have
Hold on,
picked
wait. Fear, what's your position on the Slaughter? Are you happy or unhappy about it?
Why are you asking?
Because then we can do a back and forth.
Oh, a debate.
A debate, yeah.
Okay.
I am totally happy with Slaughter if it's paired with a strong position 4 that is ranged.
So with Snapfire.
Very good.
Okay, cool. So let's back and forth. You're
Okay.
happy, I'm unhappy.
Okay, cool. So, like, give me reasons why you're...
Alright, so I'm unhappy
Or
because...
this is one side conversation.
I'm unhappy because
I'll adjudicate.
there's a lot of kite and control on outsiders, and I don't see who he's going to be able to kill with any blink, like, initiation. He has his stun is not very long. Like Necro, for example, he'll never ever be able to touch that hero.
That's your turn, Fia.
Yeah,
You have to
your turn.
retaliate. What's the rebuttal?
Sure. I mean, the goal of offlaners in a meta right now is to win your lane. Winning your lane equals items. With items, you can kill the heroes. And even if he has a blink stun this game, he's just setting up for Snapple, which will kill.
Yeah.
Later on, if he wants to, versus the Necro. Alchemist will probably get a Nullifier, and then the amp damage will shred through him. But in the laning stage as well, I don't know if people were still going to do this, but you can get like a little Shredder later on, along with amp damage, and it's a stupid amount of damage.
this draft ended so fast.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I was enjoying the debate.
Just two
I
plus
was too,
fives, you know, probably gonna take long. We've got a pool of 3. Let's pick one of them.
I'd like to say I actually did call the clock.
You did.
And the ogre as well for outsiders. Thank you. I don't normally get things right, but one thing that is right is our casters. They're never wrong. Harry freaking T-Panda. We've got a game number 3 here. So you know what? I'll give Harry Freak the floor again to impart some knowledge. If you like what BetBoom have done with this Slardar, where do you sit on the debate?
I sit on the Slardar side. I like it. I think BetBoom are pretty good at rotating towards the offlane, and Slardar is really good at pushing the jug out of it. So with the Alchemist, you want that lane open as fast as possible, and I think they have the tools.
Okay, I'm leaning towards the side of Slardar favor now, but T-Panda, where are you gonna sit with it? Is it BetBoom? Is it outsiders?
Well, I mean, the one tidbit that I had on my mind was Radiant is the team that has lost during this series, and Outsiders has a 0% win rate on Radiant, so BetBoom picked Dire for a reason.
Okay.
Draft-wise, I think this is a tight one, but I'm going to go BetBoom on this one.
Yeah, you know what? I just like it purely for the Radiant, so I'm going to go with BetBoom as well. Do you have literally 0 faith in this Slardar?
I friggin' hate Slardar. If Slardar wins, that would be such a huge moment for him as a hero.
And I know you're already going with BetBoom because you like the Slardar. So game number 3 is
GBK.
here. Okay. Well, thank you. But T-Panda, Harry Freak, let's jump into it.
Well, I mean, we're going into game 3 for a pretty high-stakes game for both of these two teams in terms of going into the major, finding out tiebreakers. One of these teams is going to be maybe left out of the battle because it is between 4 teams for 3 slots. So you got to keep that in mind no matter what team you are rooting for. But Harry, what do you think? I mean, I was really impressed with the Kunkka ban because GPK is one of his best heroes. And he is the league leader in kills. He's got 107 in total, but he might be the one actually getting killed here as he's getting surprised by the entire BetBoom team. And GPK, he will go down. Lara with the first blow with the spin, doing a lot of damage though. Soneko dropping fairly low here, but the Hart looking for the stun. Will get Ramsey's gonna fall down as well, will he? Yes, he will. Lara with the double kill, and Sakakota trying to make some work down here, but he's surrounded by enemies. And BetBoom, it's a triple kill to start the game off for Larl's Puck, and what a beginning for a game, Harry.
And he is gonna get free experience from a ward. Everyone moves away so that he's the only one. So he's the only one.
Oh, he's asking for a remake. He was not happy with the way this game starts for sure. And then we got the good lucks to go with this. Slardar denies himself to the tier 2 towers, basically used everything, get himself back to max mana and HP back to the lane. But 3-1, 3 being kills and 1 being split. Can we just talk about Laurel's Puck? The situation he's put in right now with that huge advantage.
This is good.
Is he gonna run away with it?
You're putting pressure on the young player, the least experienced one on the side of BetBoom, by giving him 3 kills. So this is a very smart move coming out from the side of Outsiders. Now Laurel feels like he needs to win this game alone, and thus he's going to be making more mistakes. Does that make sense?
That is for sure. I mean, it can make sense. I mean, the word we're looking for is a false sense of security, I guess. So, I mean, given such a great start for the game, can end up being your downfall, but obviously you wouldn't hope to see that. I mean, the moment he gets killed, he's already giving away a killing spree bounty to the opponent.
Fattening the pig for a Christmas, I guess that's the appropriate way. Just kidding, of course. I think that the Outsiders are gonna be really sad about what just happened, and GPK in general, because Tiny usually does have a solid lane against the Puck, and then this Puck just comes with a null tally and they bottle pre-water runes. That is something that you don't want to see happening.
Yep. Talking about some interesting stuff that I've kind of been compiling as well in the course of this tournament. I think we have to look at the Huck on the Alchemist. Usually when you see an Alchemist in your team, your mentality is, okay, somebody's stacking of the team. Maybe he's doing some stacks for himself. And that is true. The Huck has the most caps stacked throughout this entire tournament with 50 caps stacked inside these. Was it 13 or 14 games? And Jug's dead.
He's dead, and yeah, that is the path to victory. You know, I don't need my supports. My supports are useless, so I'm gonna just do it myself. That is the right state of mind, and he gets away with it because BetBoom, they're having a really nice score in the DPC so far. Top lane.
It does, and now DM is just getting pounded by both the battery assault and the unstable concoction. A decent amount of damage to him. And Soneko, we're basically getting almost a repeat lane, just the Marcy this time instead of the
Bottom
DK
lane
that Yamich was playing. But yeah, the bot lane, Hakoda, death number 5. It does seem impeccable, as it's actually going to be denied by the tomato and the potato. Tomato, potato. Taking that one away from them, and Ramsey spins to win. Force Major with him.
To be honest, I was quite surprised that Ramses died there. Usually before Slardar hits level 3, he just doesn't deal that much damage. Plus, Jugger is a hero with a lot of armor. Same can be said for the Ogre. That is pretty much why they couldn't kill him there, is because Noticed is level 2 and he's not doing enough damage with the bash, and then Ogre just denies himself to the neutral. So overall, very nice sequence of events coming out from Outsiders, though. That kill for Noticed, I think he's gonna be quite happy with it. And now he's level 3, so now Ramses starts to suffer.
Also pretty interesting play there with Yamich and Soneko in the top lane. Marcy disposed the Clockwork so he wouldn't be hit by the battery assault, but it ended up him killing his courier, basically, because then Soneko goes, oh, thank you, I'll take this instead. So that's a bit of extra dosh falling in their favor. This disposed, though, does get DM to join in on the action. Death Pulse does not connect, though. Concoction also keeps DM from giving the full chase onto Soneko. Marcy completely out of mana. Clockwork should be fine. 2 hits. Plus the regen, maybe 3 required. Yamich is going full ham on this one. He wants that rebound back up as well, or maybe even to load up a bit more for the dispose. But this chase ends up being all the way to the tree line, and Clockwork lives. The Hawk looking for the stun on DM, maybe a couple tower hits to follow.
The idea there from Yamich was to force out the healing salve on the Clockwork without him getting too much of the HP. So that is why he went so deep, and in the end it doesn't work out. But at least both the Alchemist and the Clockwork are going to be left here without much regen, so it's going to be much easier for DM to just stand his ground.
Yeah. Now with basically this bottom lane, Noticed getting himself a decent amount of farm to start us off with. But Ramses is doing a very admirable job here on this Juggernaut currently, but DM not so much. Surprise kill as well. That's going to be Soneko taking his first. 103 to Huck with 4 assists now.
I think that DM is kind of torn there. While the Marcy is going for a bounty rune, he feels like enemies don't have enough resources to kill him if he's next to the creeps, and he's thinking, should I go a bit back? Okay, at least he does get a kill here on Soneko, who tried to deny himself. But it seems like they do have enough damage. If you're standing in creeps and the creeps start attacking you inside of the acid spray, you're just taking way too much damage.
See what they can actually come up with this here. The Hawk just stacking some of those camps for himself. He's already level 4. He's gonna have those Greevil's greed points racking up pretty fast. Doesn't even need to sit in the lane, which DM is currently holding in front of his tier 1 tower. Too far for comfort here for BetBoom to go there. So the Hawk's just happy pulling creep waves by himself, just continuing to farm.
Radiant's middle tower
Outsiders need to... Okay, they're not going to be guessing where the
yeah, they want this
going.
again. They've got both of them inside the cogs and the coils, as Laurel's going to be here. DM will go down, and so will Yamich. At least he jukes himself inside the tree line. He's got a TP available. He will not actually go down, not just quite yet.
And Laurel is not going to be chasing that for sure. It's too much time spent. So rotation to the top lane made. This is just to make the Necro a bit weaker so that he cannot pressure the tower. The next rotation Laurel will be wanting to make towards the bottom lane. And that is the one that Outsiders really need to guess. Because if you dodge the kills and your Jugger survives, isn't pushed out of the lane, you might be able to protect the tower, which is going to be the important thing.
Are you happy with the way BetBoom basically got the start of this game? Because... I mean, obviously, all Outsiders have a very capable draft of fighting back against BetBoom at, well, pretty much any stage of the game, especially the further we go into this game, this Juggernaut gets stronger. But this laning stage importance that we've been highlighting a lot.
I think so. I think BetBoom are gonna be quite happy with it. The puck has the strength to protect the top lane tower, and you know, with the start that he has had, even if he's rotating, he's not gonna be falling behind the Tiny, and I think that's important. We are also seeing Ramses building into a Midas, showing that he really wants to stay on the bottom lane for a very long time and doesn't really want to rotate. So it's gonna be another thing that might force BetBoom to rotate to the bottom lane as fast as possible.
Yeah, they might have to address the attention for sure. That Midas is coming at a very good pace for Ramses. At 41 CS as well, 1,000 gold towards the recipe. Witchblade is also on the works for the puck on Larl. Tiny wants to get that Blade Dagger up as soon as possible, so they want to have that playmaking capability and a snowballing. Tiny for sure. Omni Slash will be popped as Hakoda's already fallen, but can they get these kills? The Spin's doing a decent amount of damage, and that should be enough to finish up the slaughter. Ramses is down. Force Major gets that one needed right click in. Despite the Spin doing damage, it does come at the cost of the carry's life.
Yeah, he used the spin immediately after the ulti. He kind of has to because of the stuns. But the thing is, you want to have the spin to remove the Corrosive Haze for the second time. The Omni Slash removes it the first time, but the second time he again gets his armor reduced, and then you just saw how much damage with mere right clicks. Force Major with only 66 damage. He was just ripping apart the Juggernaut.
He was, and they're drawing a line into the jungle. DM shows that we need to hunt this Alchemist down inside the top jungle. And GPK with his Invis rune, he's making his way towards the Hawk. He sees the campsters have been cleared, and the scan connects as well. But does he have the damage alone for this?
No, there's an infused raindrops on the Alchemist. Right now, GPK, he shouldn't be looking to kill the Alchemist. He should just be looking to be annoying. Even if they use the coil on him, it doesn't necessarily mean that the Tiny will die. This hero is very tanky. So if you're forcing just rotations there, you're gonna be quite happy with it.
Yep. The Hawk is making very fast progress towards his Radiance. It's the same build again, but in the top lane, they've got the catch onto the puck. There's the Reaper's Scythe, and that will be death number 1. And the streak broken. Mortimer's Kiss is doing a decent amount of damage here, but Hakoda and GPK, they're just closing the gap onto the Snapfire.
They want some kisses as well.
He's got all of his spells available here, and down to 210 stick charges. Tries to piggy pole his way. One more right click from GPK. The 3 toss ain't quite enough, but he can't quite do it, and he goes back in, and Tiny takes a tower hit, but the Avalanche is going to clear him out. Force Major thought he might actually have it. It's not enough. GPK lives.
I think playing around the Slardar is the play here for BetBoom. It was shown even in the previous game that it is very hard for you to stop this top tier 1 from falling. So in my mind, they should have been focusing on the bottom tier 1. But Larl, with the start that he has had, he thought that he could just kill the Tiny. But this is what happens. This is what this hero is good at, surviving. And the damage of BetBoom just isn't that high enough just yet.
Top tower also cleared out in 10 minutes by Outsiders. And there's a DD rune for Ramses, but Soneko's going to take it away. Hook shot right on top of the Juggernaut, and he will spin TP back home.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He can heal himself up, and Larl finds himself with an empty mid lane currently, with a catapult coming in.
Time when Larl can look to kill the Tiny is when you have the Witchblade, and the problem is the Tiny will have the Blink Dagger at that point, so it's gonna be GPK choosing the fights rather than the other way around, which was the case up until now.
They are smoking up. Mortimer's Kisses will be on cooldown, but they have the puck more than ready with a 4-point Illusory Orb. And the coil ready. Ramses is inside the jungle. We'll let him slide for now. They are putting the pressure towards that bottom tower. Force Major and Larl, they turn themselves around. And they see Ramses on the edge of that Obs Ward. They see him inside the jungle. Soneko, they need 6 seconds for the hook shot. Yamich is also here. They have the ward showing the Clockwork's positioning, so they know something's going to happen very soon. And there we go. The jump is onto the Juggernaut. Silence is there. Coil is popped in as well. Dodges the cookie. Very good move there from Ramses. Able to dodge everything. And there's the dispose. Moves Soneko into the arms of the Outsiders. And we'll take the Clockwork with them.
Yeah, you have the phase boots and you have the rebound movement speed, and that is just too much. There is no way that you're gonna be connecting all of those spells. I actually expected the clockwork to push him back and then the silence to come through from the puck, but I think either way, if he dodges the cookie, it's not gonna result in a kill. But still, BetBoom, they got what they wanted with the second siege creep. They get the bottom tower, so this is gonna open up the map a bit.
Yep, and maybe even the Snapfire kill here with the Reaper's Sight doesn't do enough to kill him. Does go down, but doesn't get the stack. Kill is a kill nevertheless. He's down for 20 seconds as a TP opens, so could be defending this mid tower. Disposes the clockwork out of the cogs as GPK jumps into the Soneko, looks for a second kill. BetBoom losing heroes here in this mid lane. His outsiders stacking up with 4.
Until this mid lane tower falls, it's not gonna be easy for outsiders to catch the alchemist, and that is what you're looking towards getting. Sure, you're getting these kills on the supports, but BetBoom ultimately they don't care. They've created enough space for the alchemist to be able to farm. So outsiders, they need more of these pickoffs, and they need to be using less of their resources so they can get the tower. This is why I'm not so sure about the Midas Jugger, because with this item you don't really want to join. You're not gonna be contributing anything to your teammates.
Soon we have a vessel up on the Necrophos as well. Good timing on that. And I'm kind of curious about this Slardar here. Well, Sheepo already expressed that she's not a big fan of the hero. Got ourselves a BKB Mask of Madness lineup, so I just want to get as many bashes out as possible. How do you see the Slardar faring in this game?
I think Amar showed how to play this hero, and noticed is playing it the same way. He's gonna be very farmed, very strong. He's pretty much looking to be a core while the puck is creating space. And the Slardar, he will crush the heads of everyone, especially this Tiny, who kind of feels like a tanky hero, but against the Slardar, not so much.
Yeah. So let's see if we can get some action out of the Slardar soon. But for now, he's just happy camping, farming here. BetBoom with an attempt on a smoke gank. Unfortunately under vision, and their sentry that was popped down to the ground in the vision of the Ops Ward showed that they were on their way. Mid tower Glyph has been used. GPK looking for the opening here. Marl will get the coil, keeps the Tiny on the spot, and the Hawk is coming in with that Radiance, ready to burn him up, and even more fire flying from the sky with the Mortimer's Kisses. Tiny down. And DM at the front. Got the Reaper Scythe open, but do they get the damage here? Juggernaut has the Omni Slash available. Hakoda just needs to get close enough for a stun, but the cookie stun's going to be landing in first. Snake still 15 seconds with the hook shot cooldown. Action rune, or the power rune in the bottom half, will be denied by DM.
Very nice play by BetBoom. I'm liking the movements of both of the teams. The second that outsiders see BetBoom on the bottom part of the map trying to go for a kill, they immediately pressure the mid lane tower. BetBoom, as soon as they see the pressure, they come back. Now they've used their spells, so this should be the opening for outsiders to apply a bit more pressure without many problems. So Slardar is not going to be connecting. He wants that BKB, but the thing is, when you get that tower, BetBoom will be at their timings. With double BKBs, it really isn't going to matter as much. I think BetBoom got everything they wanted from start to finish from the early game.
Pretty much, yeah. Now this Alchemist is going to be a force to be reckoned with, so they weren't able to shut him down. The Hawk, again, unkilled here in the early 15 minutes. Just like game number 2, he was pretty much uncontested for a very long time, and that will prove to be a powerful asset for BetBoom. Ramses, though, we were a bit... we were a bit disappointed in the amount of performance he had with the Wraith King in game number 2, only dealing about 5,000 hero damage. With the hands of this Juggernaut, I'm pretty sure he can do much better than that, but is there something that he might have to do a bit differently compared to game number 2 in his positioning and the way he approaches fights?
In my mind, he's doing the exact same thing that he did in the previous game, just he's changing up the Midas, and he has a different hero that will allow him to fight, and of course he's not playing against the Enigma. He's not going to get deleted, so he has the exact same approach. We'll see if it works out this time around. Bottom lane?
Yamich is pretty much history here in this bottom lane. Hakoda won't be able to teleport in time for the rescue. GPK 6 seconds on the blink cooldown, but the Tumbler Toy will bring him close enough to pull up the Avalanche, and the Fire Blast is going to be there. Toss backwards. Soneko from his buddies. DM could just take a Reaper side stack for himself. Yes, sir.
Thank you, says DM. He actually thought he was not gonna get it, that Soneko was gonna die, but Soneko with nice cogs, he puts himself in a even worse position. So either way, there was a small timing now when outsiders could have played aggressively, because there was no BKB on the Hawk and no BKB on the Slardar, but both of them have gotten them right now, so that timing is gone. Outsiders right now, it's gonna be very tough for them to play this game.
The Hawk was hoping to catch somebody here with a concoction, but GPK was not staying in the lane. Laurel was making his way on the puck. Laurel, who I think is a very, very good puck player, especially what we saw in Division 2 when he was still a stand-in for the team. He was pretty much the Void Spirit, Storm Spirit, Puck guy. Love to play all those 3 heroes, and Puck has been one of his more potential heroes, if we want to put it that way, and getting some good experience in Division 1 as well. We'll look for Soneko. Here comes the Mormor's Kisses. They will miss, but the hook shot's there, and a follow-up at least with a 1-tick. They're getting stuck inside the trees. Noted with the BKB popped as well. Coil will be used on GPK. He's going to be the prime target here for BetBoom. And take down Tiny right away. Yamich will be the next one to follow. Small gets the follow-up there. Gets the Witchblade tick. And will be enough to take him down on an instant bash coming in from Notice. Loading up for the second round. And that's going to be the Hawk taking a double for himself. They might have killed Soneko.
Roche.
They will take 3. You got Roche.
They walk into Roche. They have a Slardar. Are they gonna think twice? No, they don't want to do it without the BKB on the Slardar. I'm getting what Outsiders are trying to do. They know they're in trouble right now. The main trouble is gonna come with BetBoom have the Blink Dagger on the Alchemist and on the Slardar. On the Alchemist, it's already done. So you're trying to make plays right now to force out those BKBs. So when BetBoom do get the Blink Daggers, their BKBs are at least low so that your heroes don't die. But again, it's not gonna be a good enough force out of the BKBs if you're Tiny is losing his life over and over again.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at just straight up numbers here, you're leading 5,000 gold with an Alchemist in your team with a 4K difference to the Juggernaut. You're off to a pretty good start, but now you just need to capitalize on the Alchemist timing. Usually somewhere between 20 to 24 minutes, but he got himself a pretty good start for the game. He might be even active even faster than that. Omni Slash already used at the top lane. They're trying to soak up the damage here. Laurel will be able to face shift at least some of that, and they just isolate Ramses. He's down, and he's completely gone. Ogre as well, surrounded by a lot of heroes from BetBoom, and able to get the second kill. And like you said, that's pretty surely going to be Roche time for them.
The thing is, BetBoom now with the blink on the Alchemist, they wanted to make this move anyways, to smoke towards the top, get 1 kill and walk into Roche, and Ramses just says, yo, you don't have to smoke, kill me. He gets a support kill, and now the Roche is just gone. This will allow for you to get the mid lane tower and put Outsiders in a spot where they won't be able to force out those BKB charges, which is much needed if you want to win in the later portions of the game.
And very tough for Ramses as well that the 2 targets that he was hitting, one of them just happens to be the Puck with the phase shift. So as soon as the Snapfire dies, there's just a creep wave, so he phase shifts himself into safety of the Omni Slash, and Juggernaut just ends up being in an unwanted position for himself, and Ramses at that moment realized that, well, in front of the enemy tier 2 tower, I think my life is done here.
Boom, they're gonna take it slow. They're actually not hurrying anywhere because they've actually thrown it to Outsiders, and Outsiders are probably gonna be feeling like they have to do something. Sure, your Juggernaut is farming, but will a Juggernaut with the Midas and the Bloodlust really be able to outcarry a Puck, Alchemist, and a Slardar? I don't think so. You know, Slardar is kind of a core killer. You use the Corrosive Haze, and the hero just dies.
It sounds like game 2 to me, and if you put it in that perspective, so. They're going to have to find a workaround from that. They're going to jump DM in the mid lane and GPK in the river. So 2 simultaneous fights, and they will find the bigger kill on DM. And now Soneko, he might have to give his life away, but it's for the greater good as the Hawk is now coming in. Yamich hides inside the tree line, but Laurel is there to take this one away. Figuring out the way with a catapult for a tier 1 tower for themselves to take as a 2-1 trade takes place for BetBoom.
BetBoom a bit disconnected in the sense that they jumped the 2 cores, maybe a bit greedy coming out from Soneko, but I think he's more than happy eating the Reaper Sight. I think the only way that your Alchemist dies right now, even the Slardar, is with the Reaper Sight. So if you're tanking that, you're gonna be quite happy with it. Look at Outsiders, Hakoda and Ramses. This is a really good play. They've been playing together because Juggernaut with the Bloodlust can pretty much kill anyone. Clock is dead.
Yeah. That's the moment where you usually post. I immediately regret my decision. Moment coming in. Hakoda. Well, be traded for a 1-for-1. Ramses burnt his Omni Slash for the kill. And this is a really good smoke as well for BetBoom. Instantly recognizing we just killed one guy and we got the Omni Slash away. So we can just take whatever we want at this moment. And Outsiders don't have much to say about it. Pinging DM. We're drawing a line at least towards the bottom lane. The Huck. We'll spot Yamage here. Coil will be used. They've been using a lot of hate onto this Marcy.
Yamage is alive.
Able to get out. Lotus Orb saves him.
I think BetBoom, they went for that smoke. I think usually good players are not going to be caught by it. Ramses, he understood what was going on and he pulled himself away. But the reason why that smoke is so good is because you can't get to any of the side lanes, not even close to them, while not knowing where the enemies are. So in the end, Outsiders are going to be quite happy with how that ended up, considering they even got the Marcy out.
So what is Outsiders looking for? Item timings here with the Juggernaut, I guess? I mean, that Scotty's still very, very far away, and a BKB is not even nearly built, and Necrophos can keep people alive with that Lotus Orb and Spirit Vessel only for such a long time. So what you said Outsiders need to force to make a, or at least feel that they're forced to make a play currently. But should they just kind of weather the storm and wait for a better timing later on? Is that even a possibility?
I think BetBoom will get super far ahead, and with the BKBs being this high, they should be able to accumulate enough lead that Outsiders can't get back. But Outsiders, they feel like they can't do it, and might be the case, so they're playing for the 35 plus 40 minute mark, even plus later stages of the game, because, you know, that might be the only play you have left. Not the one that you want, but the one that you need right now.
Smoked up as 3 to the bot lane. They've got the vision of the high ground. They see the Hawk, but they don't realize that they're probably come for us instead of us going for them. And the Hawk in the tree line. Hookshot's going to be there with the concoction to finish off Marcy. Doesn't lift this time. DM should be able to teleport away.
Tiny cuts the
Does
wave.
he stay? Does he stay for the wave? All right. He's going to get himself out. Puck no longer has a blink dagger. They're pinging Ramses. They're pinging the Jug right now. They want to go for this. Notice kisses to slow them down. Notice Wolf getting on top of the Ogre Mage, and here comes the Omni Slash. It's on the Huck and on Notice, but they're so tanky, it's just not enough to kill them. And the Bashes are going for the Blade Fury. What can you do when you can do absolutely nothing? Ramses down for 65 seconds. BetBoom yet again another kill going their way.
I actually can't believe Ramsey stayed there. GPK, with his move to kill the creeps there, he kind of gave BetBoom the only move to make is to TP top and chase Ramses. And Ramses turns around with the Omni Slash. That is just a really weird play, because the second the GPK took those creeps down, it would have been a really easy queue for Ramses to just get himself out. But he overestimated the damage he does. Alchemist and the Slardar, they do not care about your Omni Slash.
This is really hurting Outsiders currently. They feel a bit disconnected, and BetBoom is much more organized, I believe, from the heroes of and the likes of Soneko. He's been shot calling throughout this entire game, making some really good calls for the team, and always in the right place at the right time, but helping out. This team is doing so well. The Hawk is unkilled, 7-0-10 currently, the only unkilled hero in this entire game. Looking for more. Hook shot does connect onto DM. We'll get the follow-up stun right away. Clockwork at the backline, getting all the vision that they need. He can die for this if they can just get the kills. Force Maker stuck on the high ground. Will be able to. No, he won't be able to teleport home. He tried to, and Dahak has to TP away as well. There's no Reaper Scythe remaining, so they cannot. Plus, he cannot pierce the BKB anyway, so they cannot stop this Alchemist from getting away. But at least they get some kills without losing any members on their side.
They do get 2 kills. This is the thing, you thought that you could kill the Necro, but the Lotus Orb pretty much keeping him alive. The second he gets the Ghost Shroud off is the second he's going to be surviving, and without the Puck, making that kind of a move is always going to be somewhat risky. I think BetBoom don't have to control the enemy triangle. If the Juggernaut is the only one that is farming, you will deal with him later on. You don't have to be greedy to overtake everything right now. There's still time to win this game for BetBoom, and a lot of it.
A lot of it indeed, with these first 25 minutes just flowing in their favor. 10k lead. Slardar going for a Moon Shard. Max out that right click speed for the mass out stun combos and the stun locks. That is really going to hurt this Juggernaut. If Slardar is ever on top of the Juggernaut, I feel like Ramses is just not getting to play the game anymore.
For sure, and he's up against the AC, so his physical damage isn't going to be that great. His magical damage against the BKBs pretty much not going to be doing anything. But once he does get the Basher, it changes things a bit, because you don't really have to use the Omni Slash. Just with the spin, if you bash the Slardar and you're keeping him away from you for a couple of seconds, that's going to be good enough to survive at least, and that is what Outsiders are gunning for. They're definitely gunning for the later portions of the game with the way that they're playing and the way that they are itemizing.
Yeah, itemizing for sure. And looking at GPK, for example, on this Tiny, he's got his shard lined up with the Daedalus. I wouldn't be too surprised if he actually went for the tree volley Aghanims as well at some point of the game, if they get that far. Because that will definitely hurt a lot of BetBoom's heroes as those trees start flying in.
I'd actually rather see the Crystallis and the Ags from him. I think GPK, if he gets in and his armor gets reduced, it will just get reduced to rubble. So I'm thinking that the tree volley might be the better approach from him here, and the DM should be the one that you're looking to put your faith in surviving these jumps. We can see that Slardar is already going for a nullifier at some point. He understands like what the problem is. If DM dies, that's a fight over for Outsiders.
Basically, yeah. DM is the one big piece that keeps them up and running in terms of sustain and how much they want to bait in. And if they can't kill that Necrophos in time, we've seen a plethora of times where the Necrophos just burst heals himself back in, continues the fight alive, or getting the timely shroud to prevent you from taking any extra damage. Those can be things that they're gunning for. And we see the Halberd also on this Necrophos, which can be very important in preventing this Alchemist from bashing and slashing everybody down. Maybe even on the Slardar, just so that Ramses can get some extra hits in. 5-on-5 smokes coming in. GPK with Soneko right to the river. The ward's placed down as well. And here we go with the Blink Star coming in straight onto the Tiny. Omni Slash is going to be connecting as well. They got a decent amount of damage to Huck. He's dropping very low right now, but it's not going to be enough, or is it? They're trying to burst him through, and he will finally fall. The Hawk will suffer his first death of the game, and Outsiders will march straight into the Roche Pit thanks to these 3 kills they just got.
Lotus Orb wins the fight. The Slardar uses amplified damage or corrosive haze on himself, and Ramses destroys him, literally destroys him. He goes into minus armor, using that over the Lotus Orb, thinking that you're gonna be able to kill the Tiny before the Omni Slash kills you, is gonna be the thing that just destroys BetBoom in that fight in particular. And now BetBoom, I think they understand they have to approach these fights differently. They have to be the first ones to jump. If they see the Tiny using his spells, you have to bail.
Tough situation now for BetBoom in a sense that this is the morale victory for Outsiders to get this team fight win in a nick of time. We talked about a lot on how are they getting back in, what's the timing for them, how far can they stretch this game until they're able to keep on going. I think they might have each other's muted. Yeah, they're all muted, I guess. So I believe we might just have to wait for a tiny little bit longer.
And not only a morale victory, you get the Roche. It was a big deal for BetBoom to get Roche. They are controlling their outpost. They are controlling the bottom part of the map, so Outsiders always have to go there as well. At least send one hero, which means that Roche should be a freebie for BetBoom in this game, tactically speaking. But they just run into the high ground onto where Outsiders were, right in front of the pit, and they give them that as well. I thought that the timing when Outsiders are going to be coming back into this game, or the late game, will come a little bit later and BetBoom will be able to accumulate the lead, but this is really big. I think now Outsiders, first for the next 5 minutes, they're not gonna be giving any more lead to BetBoom unless a big team fight happens, and they're gonna be able to create space for them to win at the point that they were looking at from the start.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm a bit worried about the puck situation in this game as well, because the more levels Outsiders is going to be getting, there's this window of opportunity until he hits level 25 to be able to get the Dream Coil piercing BKBs and all that, and piercing spins and whatnots. So until that point, I feel like Laurel can only land a perfect ulti that will help her team out until they're getting that help with 25 talent. But that's in the future. If they get that far, and obviously for Outsiders, they've bought themselves a bit of time with this Aegis going in the arms of Ramses.
The last two fights have shown that BetBoom shouldn't fight head-on, even though you are ahead. Even though you feel stronger, Outsiders lineup, the thing that it lacks is mobility, which means that they are pretty sturdy, that they can stand their ground, and they have itemized to be able to do it. So BetBoom, they just run into them pretty much like what happened in the previous game, just that this time around you have the Juggernaut who deals a bit more damage than the Wraith King did last time around.
Tower taking a decent amount of damage. Your hook shot misses,
Jugger
but they're still going to
here.
throw all of our ultis on top of him here because the Jug is still not here. He's making his way for BetBoom. They miss the opportunity. The hook shot, if that connected, that would have been Outsiders losing heroes. But now they used 1, 2, 3 ultis. They won't be able to have that firepower again for a couple minutes at least. So that tier 2 tower is taken away, and Outsiders, they feel that they have an advantage.
They're reducing the lead even more. The idea from BetBoom there is surprise them. Outsiders didn't really think that BetBoom were gonna fight without the Alchemist, who is pretty much all of the net worth that they had. You know, he has the same amount of net worth as Puck and the Slaughter combined. Not just yet, but will be there soon. So I'm thinking Outsiders, they're looking really solid here every single time that the Alchemist is out of the fight. So good call from them. But sure, as you mentioned, if all of the spells connected correctly, BetBoom might have been able to turn that one in their favor.
It is a big if factor at this point, as that situation is now over and a tower taken away. Ramsey's already setting his sights towards the next objective, being the tier 2 tower in the top lane, and they still have 3 minutes of Aegis. The Hawk should be able to buy his Abyssal. He has his Abyssal, actually. Just
Tiny's prepared bot, sorry. The Tiny's prepared bot because he knows that they can't go on the Jugger with the Aegis. They probably won't. Oh, actually, BetBoom, they're thinking about it. But the idea from BetBoom was to push in the waves and then fight on the top lane. But you're not going to be able to get that fight because Ramsey just gets the tower. The Tiny only showed himself when the tower was already at half HP.
Yeah. And this is also halted noticed and his item progress for the moment. He's only got an extra 2k in his bag. He has been building that moon shard for quite some time. We talked about his nullifiers. He's going for an MKB as well. Probably preemptively suspecting this Juggernaut is willing to go for a butterfly at some stage of the game, build up into that evasion. And Outsiders, 4-man smoke, and again, DM the one to bait and show the vision in the front. So Neko is very deep in right now. Smokes are popping. He wants to go in. Grabs the Juggernaut, and he's got the spin on himself. And I know what Soneko had in mind in that. Probably just wanted to disrupt Outsiders so they don't lose further heroes. So he plays the sacrificial role.
I think that was nicely done from him. He was the one that wanted to break the smoke. He understood the importance of his core surviving. Defending that area really wasn't the case, but at least the second that he gets caught, you can see the delta split from BetBoom. Some heroes going towards the top lane, some heroes going towards the bottom lane, and I'm liking what Laurel is building. With this kind of a split pushy type gameplay that BetBoom are going for, this Hex is gonna allow them to bring a hero from 100 to 0, which is something they definitely need in this game.
BetBoom still has a 4k lead, but it used to be so much more. It was 14,000, I think, at the best.
Yeah, 14.
Look at 14. That's a big advantage now, kind of lost. The Hawk showing himself in the lane. We have a Silver Edge now on the Tiny as well, so that will be very advantageous for them, especially against that Slardar.
If you break the Slaughter, he's a creep. He's a creep for that duration. He's not going to be doing anything. They need those bashes to be able to kill some of these bigger heroes.
If that comes at the right time of the team fight, that will be a huge advantage for Outsiders, because then Ramses will get to play Dota. I mean, there was a phase in this game where we said Ramses doesn't get to play Dota. I've noticed this on top of him, and Force Major just gets deleted. The Hawk with a quick TP and trying to hunt for a revenge kill here on GPK. But
BetBoom have to bail.
They
have to bail from
get
there.
the heck out of here because Ramses is on his way. The rest of the team is also coming. So Nako's on the other side. The Hawk is running down the lane, and that's going to be another kill. The Clockwork. Ghost Scepter gets the hook shot out. Yamich unable to find him in time, but the Cog's protecting him for the time being and going for the TP. Should be able to. GPK just got toss of cooldown, unable to get it, and there's the Aegis expiring.
And GPK lifted that arm, and you know, Soneko didn't even know how close to death he was. If he had gotten the hit off, that definitely would have resulted in a kill, and Soneko would be dead right now. Overall, not the biggest of things, but it was really nice for BetBoom to be able to dodge that. But still, they're not able to control a single area on the map. You can see how Ramses is moving now. Without the Aegis, it's gonna be a bit harder for him to do so, but he's just going left and right from the triangle to the big jungle. I think now with the Aegis gone, they're gonna put their heroes on the top lane and just wait for the next Roche. BetBoom, it's just not gonna be easy for them to run into Outsiders head on.
Let's see how this game has shifted in balance in just the last 7 to 8 minutes. This has turned upside down. How the turns table, so to say.
2 fights from BetBoom. 2 fights that they took thinking that they can end the game. The fight in the triangle, if they had won it, it probably would have sealed the deal. Not the GG out from Outsiders, but it would have been a big enough lead for them to win. And the fight around the Roche with the second Roche, it would have been really good for them as well. So, you know, they were going for the win, and it gave an opening to Outsiders. And even this smoke might give another one.
They have caught a glimpse off of GPK, I think. At least the was shown in the lane. But BetBoom's coming in from the back. Yamich is in the high ground position here. Rocket Flare not even used here, but he's tossed and disposed on top of the cliff. He might be king of the hill, but is he king of the hill really? Soneko down. Dog in the middle of the fight. They got the bashes onto the back line. Over's about to drop, and they're trying to get them away. And they will lose Dahak. The big carry is gone. And he buybacks. This is all in right now. BetBoom trying to win and get this recovery out of this fight. Soneko with a hook shot connecting onto the EM to get the follow-up stun, but there's the Lotus Orb again, and Ramsey's just wreaking havoc as Soneko is dead. Notice has to run away. Laurel getting back to the safety of his high ground, and Outsiders. We just lost the Petty Ogre in this fight. Maybe a Marcy, but she came back in with the buyback, and BetBoom is in serious trouble.
No Omnislash. I think if there was ever a time to fight, it is right now. With the Omnislash, the Juggernaut kills the Alchemist. He's just way too strong. Or maybe BetBoom just allowed this to happen and live to fight another day at the Roche pit. This is just becoming unbearable for them. Luckily, okay, that's pretty unlucky.
That is pretty unlucky at a very bad moment as well. Laurel is gone. Has 70 seconds until his buyback, or well, 70 seconds or the buyback. Pick your poison, choose your battles at this point. The Hawk is trying to get himself that Aghanims finished off.
They're going for the GG.
They're trying to go for the end push here, and it just might work out for Outsiders because GPK is hammering down these tier 4 towers one by one. Puck coming in with a buyback, and that's exactly what Outsiders wanted. They want to put BetBoom on edge. And done successfully so.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Nullifier
attack.
unnoticed, so at least now you can kill the Necro. The problem resides is that Necro is no longer your main issue. It has been long enough that Ramses with his Midas has gotten to position 1 in terms of net worth, and with his Omnislash he kills anyone. He maybe even kills 2 heroes. And I have to say I'm a bit I'd say disappointed that Laurel went for the Aeon Disc. I think it just wasn't a game-winning item. It was an item to keep himself alive, and the Hex idea I liked much better. The Wind Waker, though, I do like. Saving people for the Omnislash is the way to go.
Well, they're gonna get the blink on to DM. Maybe this time it might work out, but he's just barely not taking any damage. Here's the Mortimer's Kisses coming on top of them as well. Omnislash is also available as he's spinning in the middle. Takes down Slowdown, looking for the Hawk of the dieback, but the Omnislash goes elsewhere. Soneko dies. Force Major the fall. BetBoom losing 4 GG's called. Outsiders have done it. They have made a series and a game that looks really hard for them turn into their advantage, and they march and waltz to the victory and close out a 2-1 series. And you can see the happiness on the guys' faces at least a little bit as they cheer for the victory there.
Yeah, definitely. And DM there, you know, there's gonna be a lot of people frowning over him, like, oh, thank you for that beautiful view. But either way, Outsiders, they get a nice victory here. I have to say, I'm kind of disappointed in BetBoom because they did the same against Navi. They did the same 2 games in a row where they're in control. They can just continue being in control until the enemies just kind of crumble under pressure. But no, they continue forcing it and forcing it and forcing it. And at some point, a mistake comes out. And these are the kind of drafts BetBoom plays. Drafts that you have that are very hard to mess up. But when you mess up, it's a big deal. And, you know, they messed up twice in a row, enough for Outsiders to get back.
It was that one fight that took in front of the tier 2 tower into the Roche fight that they were able to win to secure the Aegis for themselves. That was when the Huck was still 7-0 and 10 on the Alchemist, but it just wasn't enough anymore. At the 27-minute mark, it all turned around and Outsiders were able to be the stronger team and the one with the perseverance, the hunger, the willpower to take this series and close out this final map as well to take the victory and pushes them one step further to potentially going into the major. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, but it is not for us to decide. I think it's for the panel to crack down what happened in the series. Thanks for listening to us in the casting booth, and we'll be back with the panel in a bit.
Outsiders take that series. They take that game at number 3 there. And honestly, I'm a little bit surprised considering how that game started with a triple kill for BetBoom before the runes had even spawned. That was a fun little skirmish, a great way to start that game.
GPK wanted to remake, bro. What a
yeah,
dumbass.
I know. He literally all chatted a remake.
Remake, go.
He was like, please, maybe, question mark?
Imagine this, right? You're going mid. You get first blooded, and then the enemy mid laner gets a triple kill before the rune spawns. Of course you wanted to remake.
There's only one other thing you might be all chatting if it's not remake after that.
Leave that to your imagination.
But yeah, BetBoom, they definitely had a nice start to the game, and it definitely transitioned into a good early game for them as well.
You know,
What?
I'm just looking at these clips, like, this Omni Slash was so pitiful. It did so little damage. Like, at this point, I thought the BetBoom were kind of, like, sold on it, but
Oh,
then they
100%.
take, I think
Here
it's
it
this
is.
fight,
This is
yeah.
the one.
This is a turning
Oh,
point.
he does, yeah. Oh, that was just so much damage. See, then it does so much damage.
Would you like to explain instead of just saying,
Slaughter.
wow, it does so much more
Wow,
damage?
shut up, Nat.
Hey,
You
no,
can't
you shut up.
Don't call me out like that. I'm sorry. Phil helped me understand. He told me the Slaughter.
I told you.
He used his ult on a Lotus target and
Yeah.
amped himself. So when Jug just Omni Slash, it absolutely annihilated him. So that was like the key difference there in the Omni Slash. And after that, the Omni's so funny. And then after that, yeah, Ramses was doing a lot of damage. He got his shard. His spin was doing obscene amounts of damage too. Like he kind of just ramped up. They got his timing on like Scardy and they smoked up and took a fight. Like they were very aware of like how they were playing around the Jug and like when they could fight with him. They brought him mid a lot in the early game to pressure that mid tower as well. Like he just was very involved as a carry, which was very good. And what you need to do against BetBoom.
Were you impressed with I guess the progression of the Jug, or was it a little bit worrying for you?
I mean, it was definitely worrying to some degree. I think there is some poor itemization against the Juggernaut on the side of BetBoom. Like, Omni Slash is just a very strong spell in general. It's quite counterable too. So what they didn't have and what they needed was Lotus Orbs, right? Because the Lotus Orb did a lot of work against the Slaughter. You saw he amped himself, and then Jug used that to his advantage. But at some point in the game, Jug will get farmed. He went for a Midas to make sure of that. He will use Omni Slash on your Alchemist, and it will kill your Alchemist at some point in the game. Like, because he will max out on items pretty quickly early on in this game, because that's just what Alch does. So they needed to get some Lotus Orbs. Like, I think Slaughter did not need to go like this hard carry build, worry about all this. He just needed to get a Lotus Orb, put on top of his Alchemist, so he can go in first. Maybe one of the supports go for a Lotus Orb like the Clockwork, and make it so Jug couldn't comfortably use this Omni Slash in fights, because it was way too easy for him, I feel, as a Juggernaut, when this hero is not easy to pull off because this Lotus Orb item is in the game.
Do you think the game turning in the favor of Outsiders was the downfall of BetBoom's itemizations, or were there a lot of map movements and team fights that Outsiders were executing really well?
It was really just came down to that one fight where Slaughter unfortunately amped himself and gave Roshan to the Juggernaut. And I think they just overextended. They thought they were stronger than they were, and it just came down to, like, they didn't take that fight in a manner where they expected Juggernaut to like just kill 2 cores instantly, and it is hard to kind of like read that. No way he could read that he might amp himself and cause that Omni Slash to like just be very unfortunate, right? He kills both of them, and they just do Roche, and from there it's like an Alchemist lineup. If you're playing against this, the Juggernaut as Alch, you have no chance in the ultra late game, and that was a huge turning point.
Awesome. Well, we are going to jump to our winners interview. Here's some words from one of the players, and joining us it is going to be DM. DM, congratulations on the win. How are you guys feeling for Outsiders beating, Team Spirit earlier this week and now BetBoom?
I think we're feeling kinda okay, and everything is going fine for now. After the game with Navi, we improved a lot, and everyone is feeling it, and we have all the confidence in our own strength right now, so all is good.
That's great to hear. Do you feel the confidence was a little bit shaken after the loss in Game 2 here?
It wasn't really. It was like, I don't know how to describe it. We just did some kinda bad moves with miscommunication, and it came to our loss. But overall, we knew it's gonna be okay in Game 3. So we kinda let them their Alchemist. I mean, BetBoom, in my opinion, is playing kinda Cancer Heroes, on their position 1. So it's like Visage, it's like Furion, we ban this one, and then it's Alchemist, which is, you can rape him on lane really hard, which happened Game 2. But then overall, he's just going woods and recovering. So, yeah.
Had you mainly prepared to come up against the Alch in this match with BetBoom?
Yeah, we like expected them to pick Alchemist because I think the how did practice it, and we had some counter picks to this hero. In my hero pool, there is a lot of them. T-Panda, the main one, the Timber Saw, it's like the greatest hero against Alchemist, I think, but there are still some more. So.
All right, so I saw in Game 2 you picked the Necro versus Alchemist, but you lost that game, and then in Game 2. I thought you guys would pick the Necro again, which you did, but you hesitated a little bit. Were you thinking of a different hero other than Necro in Game 2 to play versus Alch?
It wasn't a different hero. In this team, as I said, they play Cancer Heroes, so they could pick a position 5 Alchemist and do some Alchemist Razor lane or like Alchemist Weaver lane, because Weaver is also a signature hero of the HAO. So that's why we didn't pick Necro 8,
Yeah, gotcha.
Because we were expecting this guy to play position 5 Alchemist in the game.
Oh, I see.
DM, how do you feel about like the off-lane hero pool right now? Like just this patch. Is there anything you're kind of like unhappy that is not in the meta?
Give me 1 second, I'll open Dota, because it's kinda easier when you see all the heroes.
Fair enough.
I think basically Slardar is not the strongest hero right now. I'm just feeling it, like it's not the greatest. Also, Magnus is kinda falling out, and maybe at some point Tidehunter is also falling out. Like Tidehunter used to be ultimate laner, but nowadays you're ultimate, but you're not doing enough pressure, it feels like. So that's the main heroes I can figure out. Maybe some Omni Knight should be a little bit buffed, so it can be position 5, position 3 for now. But that's overall all I see. And also Broodmother is kinda dead hero. Like, there is no way I wanna play Brood anymore.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I also remember we had you talked a lot about like Underlord back in like Tour 1 time. When they changed him and like changed his ult, did you think that was like really good for him and like made up for the problems that you had talked about before, or do you think the hero is still just like missing a lot?
I think this hero is nowadays really good because the global heroes in Dota, their strength is respected by every single pro player. Like OG used to win TIs with Wisp and Nature's Prophet, which are global heroes. And nowadays you have Dawnbreaker, which Thompson also plays. And there is also Underlord position 3. I'm sure Seb is also able to play this hero. So global heroes are just good at Dota. So you can't ignore these heroes. Yeah, Underlord is fine.
DM, thank you so much for joining us and sharing so much with us. Congratulations again on winning this series.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Oh no, he's gone.
No, they're calling him back. Production, what have you done? on. They've cut him off,
He's
though,
out.
because we do have another series to jump to. That's right. The Eastern Europe Day is not over yet. We have Team Spirit up against Mind Games happening just after this break.